Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. I wanted to take a look right here. That is our live shot there of the Tillicum Bridge and the Willamette River. And as you can see, it's really nice looking from this picture right here, but it is very hot outside. The last I checked, if you're watching live, around 98 degrees or so. And it's going to get hotter than that as we go through the day. So keep track of that at kptv.com. But one of the things that people are doing to stay cool is get out onto those waterways that we have. We've got a lot of them. It's a great opportunity, usually, to cool off a little bit, but there's some important things people should know, especially as more and more people are going out on stand-up paddle boards or inflatable kayaks. There's great deals out there for them all the time. I know a lot more people are heading out with those, but if you don't know how to stay safe, there's a few things you should probably know before doing that, because just like anything else out in the water, it can be dangerous. We're going to talk about that right now on the show. Joining us right now, we have Charles Lewis, the ocean coach, who has great advice for us every time you're on here. And thank you, Charles, for being here. And, I've noticed this myself over the weekend. And I'll just be honest. I went out on an inflatable kayak on the Willamette River to cool off. I had some friends on stand-up paddle boards. And as I'm out there, I'm like, this is great. It's nice, but there's a lot of boats. There's a lot of activity out on that water. I mean, there's even barges going by, let alone jet skis and pontoon boats. And it got me thinking, like, maybe there's some things I should know to just be a little bit safer out there. So thank you for joining us to talk about this. Is it true that there's a lot more people out there with these now than there used to be?
With kayaks and paddle boards now available in big box stores, there's an explosive growth in human-powered boats across the West. And among the Oregon State Marine Board and other agencies, it's the biggest topic of discussion. Welcome to all these people on the water for the first time. It's a great opportunity. I think it's wonderful. But let's keep everybody safe. So it's very much top of mind for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's, one of the things that there's so much opportunity to get a hold of those. But as people go out, what are some important things for them to be thinking about as they head out there onto the water with these?
The boating statistics are very clear, and they have been for decades. The three biggest problems are no life jacket, getting drunk on the water, and hitting something. So if you take care of those three things, even if you just bought your boat and are unpacking it with the foam peanuts and everything by the side of the river, just a few things, you will beat the odds. Number one is wear a life jacket. And Greg, I'm not talking about that awful orange horse collar life jacket you can get for $7, but get one that fits well, that looks good, that the kayakers use, that you can wear and gives you plenty of range of motion. That solves 90% of your problem.
Yeah, and I will say I didn't see a lot of people wearing those when they were out there. And I think for people heading out in the first time, that probably means they're even less familiar with the waterways or safety in general. So get a good life jacket.
Get a good life jacket is number one. Number two, no beer, no weed. I'm sorry. I like to drink on the water too. I just don't do it. The statistics are so much against you. Save that stuff for back on the shore with your friends. It's just not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah, because your decision making's gone, your reaction time is gone, and as you mentioned, then you get back on the shore, wherever you're at, and then celebrate after that. That sounds like a good idea.
Absolutely, and law enforcement will pick on you if you're out there acting erratic. They will pick on you, and you won't like the ticket.
Yeah, no, definitely will not, and so that's could be the least of your worries. So stay sober, wear a life jacket. What else should everybody know as they're heading out there?
Collision is one of the leading causes of boat problems. Motorboats run into things. They run into bridge pilings, they run into each other, and they run into kayakers and paddleboarders. Unfortunately, this one is on you. You're a very small target out there. You're a very small boat. You got to have your neck on a swivel, and that's just the way it is. So understand that, that's a real issue. You can shout at people, you can wave your paddle and all that, but mainly stay out of the way. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of uneducated powerboaters out there. But as a really teeny little boat, that's kind of on you. So it's an awareness thing.
Yeah. And being aware like that, so what are some things you should factor in just to make sure that you are staying out of their way? Like, I guess maybe for the Willamette River would be staying closer to the shore? And I'm using that as an example, but in general, anywhere, is it staying closer to the shore and not out into those waterways where, say, a ski boat could be going?
You want to know the real pro tip? Get on the water early and be off by 10:30. And that way you avoid 90% of the power boaters, the wakeboarders, and everybody else. I know it's, it may not sound like fun, but you get on the water early, it's absolutely magical. There's no wind, it's calm, you can explore, and you're going to have the river to yourself. So that's what I do. Other than that, yeah, you can hug the shoreline a little bit and kind of stay out of some of the big boats.
So
get there early, get off the water early, I'm telling you.
Yeah, enjoy it and have it to yourself. I mean, that's a really good advice. So 10:30 a.m., stay sober, get your life jacket, and so avoid those collisions that could happen, because you're not going to win those in your kayak.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
And there's a little administrative thing too. You have to buy a waterway access permit from Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife for $7. I think it's $19 for the year. They use that to fight invasive species on the river, so it's really a worthwhile tax. But you do need to buy that. Just go online and pick that up.
Okay, so do you need to have that on your person, or just some kind of evidence?
Oh, you keep it on your phone.
Okay.
Honestly, they're going to kill me for this. They don't give a lot of tickets for that, but just as a matter of being a good citizen, it's a good thing to have.
And with that, as far as the invasive species, and I don't know if this is something you know, but you probably do. Like, is that something you need to be aware of when you're taking your paddleboard or your kayak out of the water, as far as inspecting it?
Greg, that's such a great point, because the problem is these zebra mussels attached to your kayak, and then you go throw them in drive down the road, throw them in another waterway. Yes, it can spread. So I'd say go online, ODFW, Oregon State Marine Board, and educate yourself a little bit on that. That's a really good citizen thing to be aware of. Yeah.
Okay, great. And maybe we'll do a follow-up with ODFW too on that, just to give people some more education on all of this.
Absolutely.
Well, Charles, anything else that you think is important for people to know? I think you've gone through some really good things for everyone to be aware of, because I know everybody gets excited, and there's like Prime Day coming up, so there's lots of deals on these stand-up paddleboards. A great opportunity
all of that
to get
stuff.
there,
Greg, bring your good citizen hat on the water. That helps so much. And use it to drive fitness. I don't know how your abs are feeling right now, but you get out on the water and you find out I'm not as in good a shape as I thought. But so hit the rowing machine, work. Use it as a driver for fitness, and enjoy yourself. My gosh, we have such a tremendous resource right here in the city. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate all of your knowledge and insight into this, and letting everybody know. So if everybody's watching this right now live, make sure to share this for your friends, your family. These are just important things to be aware of, to know before you head out there. You don't want to have any trouble. And like you mentioned, we have lots of places to enjoy all this waterway. So for everybody out there who wants to follow up more with what you do and all of the advice and things that you do, what's the best way to do that?
My website is theoceancoach.com. Theoceancoach.com. I teach boaters how to be safe, how to go out in the ocean. I teach beach safety to families. And if anybody has a question, just call me up. I'm happy to answer. So theoceancoach.com, find me there.
Perfect. Thanks, Charles. Really appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure.
All right, and for everybody watching live, also appreciate you joining us here as well. So, as I mentioned, we have got lots of segments up on the Fox 12 Oregon app. I would definitely recommend downloading that, or kptv.com, or wherever you're finding us, YouTube, social media channels. I mean, we're all over the place, so lots of places to share these segments. And if you have any questions, comments, you can comment on some of those, or you can send me an email, fox12now@kptv.com. That's fox12now@kptv.com. We go throughout the afternoon. Coming up here in a while, at some point this afternoon, we're going to have TriMet on to talk about some of the delays they're having, but why those are happening. So what is it about the heat that causes, like, the TriMet Max to have delays? There's mechanical. There's an actual scientific probably reason for that. We're going to get into that coming up later on this afternoon, so look out for that as well. But otherwise, check out all of our segments at those other places I just mentioned. I'll sign off right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.